Welcome to the 50th episode of the Fit Dads podcast. Brad, how the hell did we get here, mate? 50 episodes in, and this is going to be the most relaxed, chilled, downbeat episode I think we've done so far. We just basically wanted to have a podcast over a pint. Some of our first two episodes were getting to know me and you. We went into a little bit of detail about our history, but I think it's important we keep checking in with that basically and letting people know what we've been up to. We've got some little things planned today, haven't we?
You have, mate.
I've got a few little tricks up my sleeve. I feel like you have as well, actually.
No, we'll see.
But mate, here's to 50 episodes.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Awesome. In our half drank pint of Madrid.
Pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Pint Cast, if you like.
The Pint Cast.
The Pint Cast.
The Christmas Pint Cast.
We'll claim that.
We'll just name the episode right there.
That. Christmas Pint Cast.
The Christmas Pint Cast.
Love it.
So I guess what I want to start this episode by saying is to everyone who's listened to any of our episodes, thank you so much. Like just listening to us ramble, if we've brought you any kind of advice and tips and helped you out in any way, if we've made you laugh and chuckle in any kind of way, thank you so much for listening. We want to try and get to the big triple figures now, don't we? I guess 100. That'd be awesome today.
Echo that, mate. I suppose it's been a huge passion project for me and you, and we were a little bit unsure when we first started because we were like, we're probably going to make a lot of mistakes. And look, we're really grateful to everyone who's bothered to get in touch, bothered to just download an episode. And I did it up the other day as well, and we've had 18 guests on.
Have we?
18. Yeah.
Wow.
In this first year, which is...
Wow. So almost 50% of episodes have been, let's call it 40% of episodes have been guests.
Really varied as well. I feel like we've had loads of...
One thing I wanted to ask you actually. You know what I would actually know?
This is like picking your favourite kid.
Who has been your favourite? Like who's been the one that you absolutely love? Just like... I've had a lot of favourites for sure, but who's been the one that you would say has been the best? You enjoyed the most?
Yeah, the one that I've really vibed with was probably Ollie Newton. I feel like for me, I felt like I'd known him for years. Like he rocked up, big hug. I've never met him before, and he's just got that really good warmthness to him. And I don't know, it really clicked with me. I really appreciated his message and what he was saying, but I feel like I should have hesitated more when I answered that. It should have been like, let me think a little bit longer about who my favourite guest was, but. In truth, I loved Ollie. We really vibed considering I didn't know him. So,
I'm trying to think who mine was. I actually think, off the top of my head, straight away, my first answer that comes into my brain is Phil.
Yeah.
I just love the varied life he's lived. I think he's lived such a phenomenal life from the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and he shared everything on the podcast with us, didn't he? And that for me was really cool. I love the fact that he shared that in such detail.
I feel like he's lived about 4 lives.
Yeah, doesn't it? Like from a police officer to world's strongest man to his issues with drugs. Like, if you haven't listened to that episode, that's one that I would say definitely go back and listen to. 100%.
That's probably the one that we get the most comments on in terms of like physically to me and you. Like we regularly get, for context as well, like because we do a lot of these collaborative posts, we still get likes on certain posts from stuff that we did like March, April time. And that's quite weird. That's quite surreal. I sort of think, God, is this how other people feel who have got like massive followings where people are going into the back catalogue? That's what we've said with guests, like use it as an evergreen resource. So we really want people to get to know the people we're talking to. I've loved that.
Number 2 for me. I think we're going to go for like our top 5.
Yeah, maybe.
I really enjoyed Kate's. I think not only her as a person, but just the experience. Like that for me was like one of the best days out on the podcast. We got invited down to, Old Trafford Cricket Ground to interview a lady who's just done her debut as England cricket captain. She invited us into the media suite. We got to know all the team. That was just one of the days where you go, oh, this is cool. Like, I feel we're full-time podcasters. This is what I feel like. On the road, travelling around, interviewing people. That was sick.
It were a weird feeling with that one because I think we both said like, oh, this episode's blowing up a little bit. We can see people enjoying it, getting feedback from it. Just as simple as it sounds, like some of the likes that come from the post, and we still get, I feel like we've tapped into half of India. So obviously India's like such a massive cricketing community that
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like probably 3 or 4 times a day I'll get a notification from someone in India who's liked that post. But it just shows how big number one the sport is in India. Cricket's huge, it's the number one sport, right? And how many people are tapped into like just not the cricketers in their leagues or their country, but all over the world. Like
100%. to pivot, I suppose, a little bit in terms of, I suppose my second favourite one, I love the Mick Blythe one. I think that giving Mick that sort of platform. So we were talking about Mick actually on the way in, weren't we? Saying that he's very much what we all aspire to be. He's got massive arms. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I led with massive arms, but he's a great coach.
You can't miss him.
No, you can't, to be fair. But no, he's. I just thought that was really nice because I've known Mick a long time. You've known Mick a long time. I feel like we've got a lot of mutual love towards Mick. So it was nice to give him that platform, say, here's your baby, his Performance 100.
I agree.
Talk to us about it,
I agree. I think he was very, again, open, honest, worked with some amazing people, high-level athletes, and I feel like he's one of us, do you know what I mean? Like he gets it. He's a coach. He's one of the lads a little bit. Loves a beer. I mean, if he was here right now, he'd be on the beers and just winning, do you know what I mean?
100%. He'd be 3 beers deep by now, wouldn't he? He'd be done.
I think he's more of a whiskey man, Mick, isn't he? Yeah, he's more of a whiskey man.
I have to ask him. Mick Blythe for whiskey.
Should we call it there before we start going through our top 5, 10, before we start offending all our guests?
Maybe.
But they were my top 2, I think, probably Phil and Kate. I think I've said. But everyone was good. Like, there's not one person we've had on who I've left that conversation, and for the rest of the day, I've been thinking about little things that they've said. And if not that day, maybe the rest of the week. Because you do, when you interview these people, it takes you a while sometimes to process what they've said. And there'll be moments when I'm like, mid-bench press, and I'm thinking about, what someone said in the podcast. Or it'll come up in like, just a relevant situation in life. And, all these voices there saying, this is how you're going to manage this side of your mental health. Or, Kate's like, this is how elite athletes do it when I'm mid-high rocks training. I'm like, I need to fucking push harder, do you know what I mean? And it's cool. It's cool.
And it's me thinking just Kirby caffeine intake after half 2 after seeing Tommy Frank, just like we've wound him up and just boom.
I'm not sure we ever said that on the podcast, but Tommy Frank came in. He's the boxer, phenomenal lad. Just got married actually. Congratulations, Tommy. And he said to us beforehand, because I always offer every single guest, when they walk into my house, I always say, do you want a protein bar? Do you want an energy drink?
I thought you said a beer then. Do you want a beer?
No, definitely not a beer.
That's all right.
That might go down a different route. Yeah. Maybe we should start doing that.
Maybe, yeah.
They'll get a little bit looser.
Test them a little bit,
yeah. The Beer Dads, it'd be the Beer Dads podcast then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So anyway, Tommy Frank says, look lads, I'm all right. I don't really drink energy drinks. And then we kind of get moving. I crack one open. I'm not sure if you had them or not, but I think he felt a bit left out, and he goes, go on then, I'll have an energy drink, why not? So I get him his energy drink, and he didn't really sip it in the first half an hour or so, and then as the podcast went on, he kept sipping, and by the last 10-15 minutes, we couldn't shut him up, could we?
Like we wound him up. Which I've joked with him about this as well, so this is not new to Tommy, but it just made me howl. I'm just like, Tommy, you're amazing, and you're telling us a lot of stuff here, man, which I don't think you expected to tell us.
but it was like you wound like an Energizer bunny just going off on these stories, and it was great. I enjoyed every second of it. But he finished, and you could tell he took a breath after he finished and gone, bloody hell, I talked a lot then, didn't I? I think just tell he'd been like, 100%. Taken over by the caffeine.
Yeah. Seeing as we're still talking about guests, mate, have you got a dream guest? Because we've had Noor on and we're talking about like manifesting, and I really want to use this to like put it out in the world to talk. And I feel like I want certain guests on, and I feel like we share a few guests who we'd like to have on.
Before we even started the podcast, we talked about guests and who we'd have on, and this did come up as a topic of conversation. I said, the one person I think who'd fit this podcast the best is Jessica Ennis-Hill. I think she's a phenomenal mum, phenomenal athlete, done so much, great talker. You actually have some inroads there, and you know what? I think this is a good time to pull you up on this, because when we first started, I told you some of my high-profile guests that I would love to get on. I mentioned Kate. I mentioned Noor, and I followed through in these.
You did.
When we mentioned Jessica Ennis-Hill, you did say to me, I might have some inroads there. Yeah. Let's fucking put them into play, mate. Let's get them going now. I think, if not obviously in the new year now, but I'd love in 2025 at some point to get Jessica Ennis-Hill, and I'm literally going to manifest that. I'm going to put that down on my goals for 2025. Jessica Ennis-Hill on the Fit Dads podcast.
So I'm going to give her a shout out as well. She's got an amazing pregnancy app.
Oh, actually?
It's called Jenis, yeah. So that Jenis, which for me is quite a nice way to say, Jess, listen, we've given you some free publicity here. Like, if for context as well, my sister-in-law used to train with Jess, right? But she's about to give birth My sister-in-law, yeah.
Nah, I won't pester now, mate.
Yeah, so I'm like...
When's she due? Anytime?
I should know this. January, I think, maybe Feb. Start of Feb. So yeah. Right. So when she's, when she's caught up on her sleep,
I'm trying to think of like Amy's cycle of being a mum. Yeah. I would probably say
catch her when she's at her weakest. Is that what you're saying?
bring up a partner when she's in labour. I actually maybe think now might be a better opportunity rather than when she's had a newborn, because she'll have her hands full. She'll be stressed out to the max for the newborn. Whereas now it's like the easy bit. You just
season of goodwill.
Going to write in now. Oh, easy is it, Ryan?
Season of goodwill is what you're saying. Like utilise. I'm seeing her on Boxing Day actually. So if you're listening to this before Boxing Day, we'd like to get in touch with Jess, please.
I would definitely say Christmas is maybe a good time to slip it in there and say, look, you've seen what we're doing with the podcast.
Yep.
This was our ultimate goal when we first started. Can you make it happen?
Let's see. Let's see. Which we put it out there, mate. We've manifested it. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Any other dream guests?
I mean, how big do we go? Do you know what I mean?
I've got one who's absolutely, for me, top tier. He's front man, one of my favourite bands ever. He's Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons. He's big into his training. He's a big buff lad.
And, where's he based?
Stateside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So Las Vegas, I think he is.
Fucking hell. You're actually big there, mate. You know what I mean?
Just saying, mate, if we're going to go big, I'm
might need some sponsorship before we go
maybe
over to the States.
Maybe you'll see.
That's planning trips to Las Vegas here.
World domination.
We haven't got past 50 episodes.
I'm just thinking maybe he sees Jess episode. Maybe he's thinking, I love Jess Ennis. I'd love to talk to them two lads.
Yeah. It's a funny shout that. I mean, you're into like your indie bands, aren't you? To be fair, we mentioned that on the way over here. Like you like Cortinas, and you're into
basically any FIFA soundtrack. That is my. If ever I'm struggling training, I just put on like FIFA 07 soundtrack.
Yeah. What an era though! Indie rock, that era of stuff. Good, very good.
100%.
And unique. You just don't get music like that anymore. No. The rock scene, indie scene, isn't like it was in that era.
To be honest, I'd love to get listeners and viewers suggestions as well. Like even if they've got any inroads, if they're like,
absolutely.
Look, send them this episode and be like, listen, Brad and Ryan, they're after some big hitters, and if you know the Rock or anybody like that,
calm down.
Calm down. All right, calm down.
If I'm being honest with you, if we're dreaming big, I would absolutely love Steven Gerrard, mate.
Yeah.
He was my child. I think I might have mentioned this before, but he was my childhood hero. Actually, believe it or not, I share the same birthday as Steven Gerrard as well.
I remember you saying this, I think is that when you decided you were destined to be a footballer?
Around then, I was like, it's got to be. It's in the stars. He's great. I think I'm great. We share the same birthday. We're basically, I'm born to be Liverpool captain.
It could have been R8 online, couldn't it? It could have been Ray online.
Yeah, it could have been Ray online. I've missed the trick there.
Ray online. As soon as you moved to Sheffield, that's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Ray online.
But I'd absolutely love Stevie G. That'd be one of my ultimate guests. Again, just for the stories, for the bands. He's a family man. He's got. You could probably do a 5-hour podcast of him telling you through all the football stories, the trips they've done.
I'm going to say he's got all girls, hasn't he? But he's not. He's got what? He's got a little lad as well.
One lad, yeah. And I always remember him telling me about the difference between being a parent to boys and girls. And he goes, as a dad, I just can't say no to the girls. Like whatever they want, I feel like I've got to get it. And I kind of do feel a little bit like with Harlow to a certain degree. But he's like, with my little lad, I'm tight. I'm tight. I'm strict. I want him. I'm tough on him. I want him to be the best he can be. And it's funny that, isn't it? Like, because he must be like having this juxtaposition of like strategies of his kids.
Yeah, it's funny you should say it, 'cause we've got Nova as well, who's my little niece, and there's like 3 months between her and Ted. Exactly, I can echo that. Nova can ask me for anything and she gets it straight away. Whereas Ted, you're right, I almost want to be like, no, you need to know like discipline. You need to know that you can't have everything at drop of a hat. And I'm like, of course you can have that, Nova, there you go.
But in a weird way, I think it may be, it's difficult because as blokes, we know what we went through. We know what the kind of people we admired as kids and now.
Yeah.
And you kind of want your son to grow up to be someone who's
like me.
Yeah, fucking geezer. Yeah. Just someone who's respectable, someone who's, got good morals, good ethics, someone who...
You're describing me.
That beer's gone to your head, mate. But just, you want them to be just a good lad, you know. And I think with girls, in a weird way, you kind of, I don't know, it's hard when they're a kid, but I think when I get a bit older, or when Harlow gets a bit older, I want her to also have some sense of like, she can handle herself.
Yeah.
Because I think you know what it's like, you know what you and your mates were like with girls a little bit when you were younger, you know what I mean? Like, you know, girls get a bit of a rough ride sometimes, but I think, you just want to be able to handle herself. I think
100%.
that's something and I think, you know, obviously getting into the gym and having her moving around the weights, having a bit of strength around her, that's something that's really important to me, for her to be strong as well, like to be able to like, God, you know, it's horrible to even think about, but potentially at some point in her life having to like defend herself, like you know, if she was strong and she had those foundations of strength, things might be a little bit different.
I thought you were going to say when she brings boyfriends home and you're stood there with like Mick Blythe size arms saying, well, that'll be the same anyway. It doesn't matter what she's like, I'll still have Mick Blythe arms at 45 years old, 50 years old. God, that's a scary thought, isn't it? In your arms in like 15 years time, and she's potentially bringing boyfriends home. That's weird. 100%. And it's one of them where I always think it with Ted as well. I'm like, I want him to be respectful and kind, and I don't know, just know how to interact with people and talk to people. Like, I don't know, you reflect on your own childhood, don't you? And you sort of go like, oh, I love that about my childhood, or maybe I wish I got to do X, Y, and Z. So that's always been my motto with Ted, just experience as much as you can and choose something that brings you joy, makes you happy, something that don't really feel like work. Like, I've always tried to choose things that way, and I think that's a nice way to live.
But, nice message, that. And I think, I can't remember who it was who said this when I was kind of working in my early years. Someone said to me, find out what you would do for free and learn how to get paid for it. And I was like, that's such a good piece of advice.
That's great.
What would I do for free? Like, what job would I do for free? It's that good. I enjoy it that much, and then learn how to get paid for it. And that's when I was, you know, my background really is, I've told you, I used to work in Meadowhall, big retail park in Sheffield, and they had an All Saints there. Went in there for a bit of a stopgap, 6 months, ended up being 18 months, and I had a lot of time to think during that job around where I want to go and what I want to do. And I just always loved the gym, and I was like, I can't get away from that. It's the one thing. As soon as I finish work, I can't wait to get to the gym. As soon as before work, if I was working a late shift, I couldn't wait to go to the gym and then go and do my shift. Like, it was just all gym orientated, lifting weights, and I absolutely loved it. And that's when I realised that I need to make this my job, because I could do this for free. How do I lift weights for free? How do I work this into my career? And here we are. You know,
I can just see it now. R5, 22 years old, discounted All Saints stuff, out on town. I can see it now.
Yeah, that's the person you don't want to meet. I think I was a little bit reckless back then. Not quite got the same upholding.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Which seems to be all nostalgic, mate. What were you like as a kid? Like, especially at Christmas time. Like, were you into anything in particular? Did you like any specific topics? I know you've said you were football mad in the past. Is that something that always stuck with you?
Always football mad. Just, it's funny actually, because I think everyone has slightly different Christmases, don't they, in the way they do things. And it was actually Jason Manford that was talking about this on the podcast today, and we'll get on to him in a second, because he's part of my trump card for today's podcast.
Going to play a distinctive role in it.
Yeah, but he was saying that everyone has their own Christmas, and you think that everyone does Christmas the same way, but everyone does things slightly differently, I think. He also made a funny comment. He said, the more middle class you are, the later you open your presents. Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you know, the more middle class you are, the less you care about, there's some presents over there.
Yeah.
Who cares? We'll open them in a bit. But I think there's something nice to like making a big deal of the presents. Like, that was a big thing for us as a kid. Like, we'd always like, you know, I mean, in a house full of 3 boys, there's almost a sense, I'm not sure, because you're a house full of 3 boys, eldest of 3 boys like me. Yeah. I almost felt like in some years there was a bit of like competition about what you get. Yeah. Do you ever feel that as a kid? Like,
I did.
And I remember feeling like quite disappointed sometimes when my brothers would get something really good. I was like, damn it, I really wanted that.
Yeah,
like, but they'd asked for it specifically, and when I saw it in person, I was like, oh damn it, I wish I'd had that.
I feel like I'm going to dog my little brother in now. Right. Like, my middle brother Bill. my mum and dad once got him this, I think it was like a chain or some sort of like amazing bracelet, and he really, really wanted it. And I remember he opened it and he just like started crying happy tears. And I'd never seen like a 10-year-old give happy tears. And I'm like, always stuck with me that. I probably revealed his deepest, darkest secret. Actually.
That's really nice though. For kids to like, that's the best thing as a parent though, isn't it? To buy something for your child and then for them genuinely be moved in that way, like, oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Whereas for us, it were like, I think the best present we ever got, I think my mum and dad got us a PS2 when they were like brand new.
Right.
So we got a PS2, I think we had 3 controllers. Me and Bill, we went on it. Youngest brother, Bobby, we were like, right, there's your controller, Bobs. He must have been like 3 or 4. Weren't plugged in. So he's like dabbing away on it, like playing away like this. And me and Bill are just smashing lots up. It were good, mate. I did in
Glass.
That sort of Christmas. I feel like we didn't leave that PlayStation for at least a week.
Yeah.
We must have played on it for like 10, 12 hours a day. Easy.
They're the best moments, aren't they? Like, you know, actually playing with the presents that you've got with your brothers. It's something quite nice about that, like sharing that experience. Even though it's their present, they're sharing it with you. A similar moment I had when I was a kid was, there's obviously 3 of us, and there was a year when like, it seemed like every single games console company brought out a new thing. So there was like, PS1, there was an Xbox, there was a GameCube, and I think each of us had like strategically got together and gone, should we ask for like one each and like just hope we get it?
Smart.
And there was no way in hell we're gonna get one between us basically. Anyway, Christmas Day comes and I think I've opened my GameCube and I've gone, I mean, are the 3? That's probably not the one I wanted. Where's my PS2 or Xbox? You know what I mean? And then my brother opens one and he's got like a PS2 and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. We've got 2.
Schemed.
And then I'm looking at my little brother going, no chance. It can't be. He's opened the Xbox. I'm like, oh my God, we've got all 3 in 1 year. And it was weird. There was that weird moment. I was like, that's so nice, Mum and Dad. You could have got us one, but you got us 1 each. And I remember like having that moment, even as a kid, being like, thank you, Mum and Dad. I think every kid's had that moment, haven't they, as a kid, where you've got something you really wanted and gone, really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It sounds like you had that penny drop moment quite early that actually, and if there's any kids listening, please stop right now. Because when you have that moment where you realise that it is Mum and Dad. And you sort of...
I think I was old enough to realise at that point by the time we got it, but I don't think, because as the eldest, you'll know this as well, there's a moment where you know it's not real.
But you're like...
and your mum and dad know you know it's not real. And they're like, zip it, right? Don't you dare tell Jane it's not real, I will kill you. I remember that chat my mum like and like wind her up going, nah, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell him it's not real. I'm going to tell him the Father Christmas is you. You come down in the evening. That's funny.
Because in my head, my littlest brother is always 5, and my middle brother is always like 10. Right? In my head, if I go back in time, close my eyes, that's what I see. I see
next year
on Christmas Day.
My little brother is 30.
Is he? Oh wow! Yeah, that's a
there's
scary thought.
There's 2 years between us all.
Yeah.
So I'll be 34 next year. Lee will be 32. Jake will be 30.
My baby brother's a dad. That hurts my head. Where I'm like,
how old's your little? He's
24.
24. Oh, what's his big difference between you guys?
Big difference. 9 years. So like teaching, that was probably quite nice for us actually, because like with Bob's, my youngest brother Bobby, me and Bill sort of had to teach him, and like we did feel like, for context as well, like we moved house. We lived in like an end terrace, and then I think we moved to like this bungalow where my dad were a brickie, so he put on an extension, and we basically lived in a building site for about 3 years. But but my dad really like got his head down and worked, and they're honestly some of like my happiest memories when I think back, because I always remember carrying my littlest brother in a wheelbarrow like along these like beams. It must have been around Christmas time, along floor beams. The floor weren't down yet. My dad had like built the floor and stuff, but we're like literally like wading him around, and it were mad. Health and safety gone mad, but it's just like such nice memories that you close your eyes and you think that's when times got tough, but they always made it fun. They always made it fun. And it was just really nice, like especially being eldest, you have to step up and help with stuff. But
I guess being like 9 years old as well, you really have to step up. Like you're almost seen as like a third parent in the family unit. You are the third parent, and they're kind of relying on you in some respects to kind of hold the peace, because That can get tested sometimes.
Our chief wind-up, mate. Our chief wind-up.
That doesn't surprise me. But the dad jokes that you pull out nowadays does not surprise me.
Honestly, I remember when my two little brothers teamed up and they started winding me up and I'm like, shit. I'm like, this is when it turns. Tables have turned now. I'm like, God's sake. Here we go. So,
do you want me to pull out the first trump card?
should we do it?
So, let me give you a bit of context. We brought up Jason Mumford a minute ago. And I'd say for probably the past 3-4 years, I've listened to his podcast on and off. But I've always listened to them around Christmas because, you know, I did a little bit of a Christmas special, which actually for them came out this Sunday. And every single year, Jason Mumford and Steve Edge, who are the kind of two comedians who do this podcast, which is hilarious, by the way. I think they're brilliant. They always do a Christmas special where they get sent in like foods from local supermarkets, some like high-end stuff. I think they're like Fortnum and Mason? What's it called?
Yeah, Fortnum and Mason.
But that's right. And they get sent stuff from like Aldi, but it's all weird and wonderful foods to go and try. Things, they basically call it, we'll try it, you go and then buy it. And it's basically an excuse for them to get pissed.
Yeah.
Try loads of nice food and just have a right laugh, basically.
Why not?
And I've always thought, if I ever have my own podcast, I'd love to do something like that. Just try like weird foods and get Christmas foods on there. So when this episode came up, the 50th one around Christmas, I thought, we've got to do it. So I've been out and I bought some foods bread. And I'm going to get her to try some weird and wonderful Christmas foods.
Do you know what? I'm quite excited. I'm a Celeb's just finished. So I'm quite
Don't
keen
worry, there's no cockroaches or dead slugs and shit.
Right.
So the first thing I want to pull out is some bread because
look at that.
That's all right, isn't it?
Look at that.
Yeah. There's a selection of breads for anyone listening here, and we're going to lave these breads up with something. All right. So let me bring my
look at this. This is behind the scenes stuff.
my bag of goodies over.
Here we go. Right, I have no idea what Ryan's going to pull out here.
Around now.
Yeah. Right, this could be, if I had to guess, there's definitely something Brussels sprout flavour in here.
I couldn't find anything Brussels sprout flavour. No.
Thank fuck for that.
So let me start with the one that I think is a little more suspect. I've got two types of mayonnaise for you to try. All right. Both from Aldi.
All right.
The first one is a sage and onion stuffing mayonnaise.
Ooh.
Now, I like sage and onion, I like stuffing, and I like mayonnaise. The three together could go either way. Do you know what I mean? So let's lather it up. We've got some bread. We've got some plates. There you go.
Mayonnaise now always reminds me of Tommy Fury. Ever since he said that he just smashes mayonnaise.
I like mayonnaise.
I think he said like he must go through like two or three bottles a week.
Really?
It's a good effort, a week. It's good effort, that, isn't it?
That's like...
Yeah. It's
unbelievable,
proper
mate.
impressive.
That's a lot of calories. Right. Choose your bread.
First one going on.
And I want to lather it up with some sage and onion mayonnaise.
Right, I'm going to be savvy here, just in case it's shit.
Do you know, I was, when I was walking around the supermarkets, though, because I probably went to 3 or 4 supermarkets for this stuff, I was kind of expecting them to be some more weird foods, but there's not really. Like... There was one thing that Jason Mumford and Steve Edge tried on their podcast. It was a full Christmas dinner in a gin. So it's a Christmas dinner flavoured gin. Right. If you can imagine what that tastes like. And apparently the guy said it was the best thing he's ever made, and Steve Edge, I think, disagreed.
Which I actually told you this story the other day, Ryan. But when I was younger, in my teens, we had a FIFA tournament, and whoever lost had to drink a blended up Sunday dinner, and I lost, and it was the most horrific thing I've ever done.
What would you think of that?
I'm into that.
It's actually quite nice, isn't it? I can get down with that. I was really sceptical about what that'd be like, but actually,
I'm into that.
The sage and onion.
What would you have it with, though?
I don't think you do. I think you just have it by yourself.
Do you? I think you mayo on bread.
Yeah, you just do it like this. You couldn't. What else are you going to throw into the mix?
Pork sandwiches.
Turkey. Oh,
there we go. Turkey sandwiches.
Or on pork sandwich. Oh, now we're talking.
I'm thinking leftovers, turkey sandwiches.
I'm taking that back over now. I'm saving that.
It's gone. Sorry. It's going off camera to me.
That's brilliant. I'm a big fan of that.
So I'm thinking leftovers.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, day after Boxing Day, that weird twilight zone where no one's got a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that'd be class. Have you gone for like full one slice of bread? Just launch it on?
Yeah, just all in.
Fair. All right.
I'm actually quite hungry. I haven't had much until today, and that beer went down way too nice. And you know when the first beer, you have any food, the first beer goes down, and you're like, I'm feeling a little bit more wobbly than I should be.
Eating's cheating. For context as well, mate, now that you're an athlete, now that you're a High Rocks athlete, you're a massive lightweight. So, yeah.
No, I mean, I've always been a bit of a lightweight in recent years, mate. I don't drink, mate. How many times in the year do you drink?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. I'm somebody like, I don't drink. Obviously, we've done a full episode on alcohol, and people know my like jaded relationship with booze. But I don't know. It's either like special occasions or I rarely turn to it if I'm stressed.
If you had to count like occasions where you've definitely had alcohol, how many would you say in the year?
What we're talking, like excess amount, or just like more than one?
Yeah, more than one.
No, I honestly reckon about once a month. Like if I had to guess, which is not that much.
I reckon I can count on two hands the amount of times that I've like had more than one this year. I'm just not social. But this is my issue. When I do drink, I like to go for it a bit. Do you know what I mean? So I'll save it for a big night with the boys, or we'll have an event that we'll go to or something.
For me, it's stag do's. I think stag do drinking.
Yeah, and well, that
is a different breed. Yeah. Stag do drinking is a different breed. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna pull out number 2. It's a second type of mayonnaise.
What we got?
Cranberry.
Go on.
And again, I like cranberry. I like mayonnaise. I can't really imagine what this is going to taste like.
Do you know what I'm thinking with this?
What?
Right. Sausage roll. Right. Homemade sausage rolls. Dip. You can literally just dip it in.
What the hell? A sausage roll dipped in cranberry mayonnaise.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. If I had one sauce for the rest of my life or one condiment, it probably would be mayo.
Would it?
Yeah, I'm not really bothered about barbecue sauce.
So it looks like? It looks a bit like Marie Rose sauce, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually. What do you call it? When you say Marie Rose sauce, am I being daft?
Is it rosemary? It's a seafood sauce, you know?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I always forget. Is it Marie Rose or rosemary?
I can't remember. I just know it as seafood sauce. I know it as tomato ketchup combined.
I'm trying to be fancy with a fancy name. It's just got a seafood sauce.
I know it as tomato ketchup combined with mayo.
Yeah, it is.
Or is that council seafood sauce?
And if you try and make it yourself, you always get the ratio wrong.
Oh yeah.
And it ends up just tasting like gone off for ketchup. What are you saying to that?
It tastes a bit more sweet. I'm into it. I don't know. It's a bit of a contrast, isn't it?
Oh, mate.
You're not bothered?
It's not for me, that.
Do it taste like?
No.
Yogurt?
Yeah, it does. It does. It tastes like cranberry yogurt.
Does it? Mate, I'll square up with you. I'll take that off your hands. I quite like that.
Do you really?
I like it.
Really, mate? Yeah. That's horrible.
Says more about
No, I'm not having that.
Yeah, it tastes like one of Ted's yogurts.
That's minging.
I
can't finish it.
That's why I said don't
bother eating
bread.
It's
Look,
rare.
You've wasted all that bread now.
I know. Oh God. I'm leaving it there.
Unreal.
It's rare that I don't like things as well. That's done with that.
Just tastes like, call it petit pois yogurts.
Do you want to keep that there and just keep topping yourself up, mate? Feel free.
Is that making you gib?
Yeah.
Is that making you gib?
It's not making me gib, but it's just not my cup of tea.
In fact, we need to talk about macros on this as well.
You don't want to know, mate. It's full fat mayo.
It's not that bad, actually.
Is it not?
This jar contains approximately 16 servings. That's bollocks.
You've had 3 servings.
I've had 3 servings then. That's done. That's 4 servings. That done.
Right, I'm going to go next one, mate.
Oh, hang on.
Look at these.
What's that?
Let's show the viewers. This is a penguin polar bear steamed Bao Buns. Now, I think I'm going to hazard a guess here that these are just very normal, simple Bao Buns decorated as penguins and polar bears.
Fair.
I don't think that the red's going to be anything special. I don't think it's going to taste like cranberry. I don't think the green's going to taste like sage and onion.
I can't imagine.
There's only one way to find out. Might as well crack them open.
Yeah. Icing on Bao Buns. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's not. I don't think it's icing. I think it's like. What is that?
Icing sauce. Jeez, right. I'm gonna show one up to camera because we on our recent trip to London. Oh, I've just put my finger through this one. Recent trip to London, we had just these amazing Bao Buns from Chinatown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just the Chinatown scene in London's unbelievable. Now, I think that's icing.
Do you?
Yeah.
Icing? It can't be.
Oh no, it's not. It's bread.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's really clever.
Is it like green?
That's really clever.
Is it dyed bread?
Yeah, it's dyed bread. Yeah.
Does it taste like anything?
Oh, it's got stuff.
It's got stuff.
Go on.
Oh, it's got stuff in the middle.
That's so weird.
I thought it was just the bun. It's got stuff in the middle.
Yeah, it's got stuff in. What is it?
I don't know.
It's almost like not like a coleslaw, like a Chinese coleslaw.
I hope it's not something you have to cook because we haven't cooked it. Just raw chicken.
Food poisoning. Sorry, tomorrow's clients.
What have we done with it? Oh, it's down there.
That's really nice.
What does it say?
actually.
What is it? It's
Honestly, when you see that looks like icing.
we're okay. We're all right. So it's 8 handmade steamed bao buns filled with vegetables in a hoisin plum sauce.
Here we go.
Bang.
I said hoisin in some
banging.
says. That's all right.
They're banging them.
Yeah, well, little polar bear. That was mint. What? In fact, we're going to go quiet for a minute
And I know, yeah.
But
Now we've chomped down on these.
I like them. I feel like Ted and Harlow will be into them.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah. Does Harlow not feel bad about like eating cute faces? Ted don't care.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's-
Like I mentioned it, I don't think we've given anything to eat that's like, you know, cute.
Yeah. Ted would just rip it off.
Would he?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
he's not bothered. He's not arsed. What? I'm into them, mate.
Yeah, they're banging.
That surprised me actually. I don't know why I thought that'd be icing. But it's not, it's
But you couldn't put icing on bread, could you? It'd be too sweet.
mate, it's Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, they do shit, anything at Christmas, don't they?
Are you into mince pies, by the way?
Mate, I love mince pies.
Yeah.
I love mince
I
pies.
didn't love mince pies until last year. And my father-in-law called me old. He was like, "You're showing your age now." I'm like, "What do you
Really?
mean?" He was like, "Taste buds have changed to that age where you probably like whiskey and
Yeah.
mince pies."
The other thing with mince pies is they're getting smaller every year, but I feel like they're getting more calorific. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how they fit like 300 odd calories into the smallest mince pie I've ever seen.
What are macros on this? Go on. It's a fitness podcast, isn't it? We need macros.
What are the macros in a bao bun? Per bao bun, it's 94 calories.
See?
It's not bad. It's not bad, is it?
So that's a good little start,
Yeah,
that, isn't it?
yeah,
Got
nice
a little
little
bit
start.
of soy sauce, dip it in. Job's a good one. I'm impressed with that.
I like the bao buns. It's not the bao buns. I've got bao buns in my mind now. I like the mince pies that are icing topped.
Yeah. Same.
Can't beat them. Love those.
We've just been to Cannonall Farm and they did like a selection of like mince pies. They had like some almond ones and some other. Man, I felt so old buying them.
Love that.
I literally felt like I should get my slippers and a pipe. sat around fire.
I've thought that about you a few times now, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm not going to lie, mate. It was lovely. It really
Right, should we go next one?
What we got?
We're gonna go for a drink next.
Oh.
So I'm gonna bring over the glass.
Look at how prepared he is.
There's a little
Look at that.
pint glass for you.
Unbelievable.
Right. So this is an odd one. This one for me because it's a gingerbread milkshake.
Oh.
Right now,
Right.
I love milkshakes. I've always loved milkshakes,
Do you love gingerbread as well?
but I don't like gingerbread.
Oh, God.
I'm not a big fan of the taste. Look, if Harlow gives me a bit of leftover gingerbread and says, "Daddy, you got to eat it," I'll eat it. But I'm not choosing to buy a gingerbread. I've never openly bought a gingerbread man. All right.
This
So it could go either way. This.
This screams heartburn central, this. I feel like I should have brought Rennie's. Anytime I have gingerbread, it's like
Oh, it's got a cap.
reflux. Reflux is horrendous. Right, do us a favour,
Oh,
mate.
no.
Don't.
Do you know the little pulley bit? The pulley bits come off. Sorry.
Happens at best for us, mate.
Right. Let me just
There we go. This is struggle. This
I
now.
might need my knife now.
I'm actually shocked this is happening to you, Ryan. I thought you were really cool with this, and I'm seeing you open a milkshake with a freaking knife.
You're gonna get some cranberry in your gingerbread milkshake.
God. Right, can we not overcommit with this one? Because I feel like it's going to be questionable. Isn't it?
Should we do
Do a shot.
A shot.
Do a shot.
All right.
I've just swizz it
We'll just do a
around.
little
Fucking
one
how
at
big
the
are your shots? Right, hang on. Oh, I've done that. I've sniffed it first. Why have I done that?
To be fair,
Cheers, mate.
yeah. Cheers.
Give it a
mate.
try.
It doesn't smell too bad. It doesn't smell as gingerbready as I thought it would.
Right.
What are you saying? Rate it out of 10.
It's alright, actually.
Is it? Really?
Yeah.
Don't
A
get thought?
solid. Hang on. Aftertaste. Hang on.
No.
I'm not sure. Not sure now. I don't mind that.
I'm gonna shot the whole thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I reckon it's a 7.
Yeah, it's lighter than I thought. It's not as strong and as harsh. I actually think it's better than an actual gingerbread mouth. I'd have that over a gingerbread mouth. Yeah. That's not that bad. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I thought it'd be a lot stronger in the gingerbread flavour.
I'm concerned because it's gingerbread milk. Where's this come from? Can you milk gingerbread men?
I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Gingerbread woman.
Don't ever try and milk a gingerbread man.
Is it from a gingerbread man or gingerbread woman? Because this makes a difference.
Oh, you went there.
It makes a difference, mate.
What calories on this? So calories on this per 250 millilitre serving. How much is that? That's half a pint. That's that is 250 in there.
Yeah.
We've had half of that.
Yeah.
So it's per 250, it's 190 calories, which I think is on the higher side.
That's right. That.
I think it's on the higher side.
I feel like it's if you've got
a pint, that's like 500 calories.
Did you have something a bit?
That's worse than beer.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I was just going to say you can give it to your kids and it'll just be a nice little novelty, but you've ruined it now.
I'm going to go for another one.
Yeah,
do you want another one?
Yeah, go on then.
I'm going to top myself up.
Oh, whoa. I thought you didn't like gingerbread.
I'm into it. I'm digging it now. This might be the turning point.
Give me off.
The gingerbread milkshake might be the turning point for me liking gingerbread man.
Right, remind me never to let you pour wine or a beer out.
Is it pour?
No, I said I'm like, I'll step off. It's 3/4 of me, aren't you?
Also, as well, if you haven't noticed, we are also at the Peacock at Barlow. So we've come back to the same place where we did Shane Nugent's podcast.
Yeah.
And as I'm pouring these, I'm just hoping that the bar staff aren't looking over going, these guys have brought their own food and drink, what's going on here?
we've only bought 2 pints to be fair, haven't we? They'll be like, hang on.
We'll have some food afterwards.
But yeah, I feel like we both said this when we walked in, we felt like we've got PTSD because that was the episode for me where we were like, oh, the audio. But well, mate, I've said it, I feel like we've made every mistake that there is to make. In podcasting.
For anyone who hasn't listened to Shane's episode, we messed up the audio big time, didn't we? And look, we've said from day one, we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to be learning on the job. But it was just with a quite, I would say, high-profile guy. Like he's an Olympic-level nutritionist. Gave some unbelievable information. But I've had a few people who've listened to the episode and gone, tough listen that because of the audio quality.
I feel like we might have to turn that into some sort of PDF, like a transcript, and just because
to do is because there's another one that we messed up the audio of. Well, we didn't mess it up. But we went to there's the Redefined girls throughout the whole podcast. There was some incessant dog barking in the back.
You can't talk about them like that, mate. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You can't talk about
the dad jokes in full flow today, mate. Won't expect anything less. But
we love you, Liz and Rebecca. Don't listen to Ryan.
But anyway, there's this dog was just incessant, and as I was editing it, I just knew straight away that's just the toughest listen so far. Sent it off to this genius on Fiverr, got rid of every single dog bark. Cost us a bit of money, but works wonders. I'm wondering whether we send Shane's episode off to that same guy.
That's a good show.
And say, can you just
cast some spells?
Yeah,
make it work.
Make it better, basically. Because it's like an evergreen resource. Like it's going to be there for anyone to view at any point they want. And it's all about kids and nutrition, so it's quite a, I think, good to utilise it. Something for people to utilise for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to have him back on as well because we're in his office as we speak. Actually, this is where he works, which is.
Well, I messaged Shane to say we want to try and do a pub episode. We thought the Peacock at Barlow would be great, and when I messaged him, he didn't get back to me. His partner was thinking he probably didn't want us muscling in on his little workspace. He's had to go home early for this.
Yeah. Oh, bless him. Yeah. No, honestly, I really like Shane. He's a good bloke, and he knows his stuff. He's a smart lad. He's a smart lad. But
right, so we're going to the next one.
Go on. What we got?
I'm going to go. We'll go for a crisp next, shall we?
Ooh, I love a crisp.
What should we go for? I've got 2 different types of crisp. Let's go for this one. So this is a turkey and stuffing bauble.
Okay.
How would you describe that to the audience?
Like profiteroles, but
no. They look like profiteroles on the packet, but they're a bit like, I think, cheese balls.
Yeah.
Cheese balls, but tuffing.
Tuffing. There we go.
That bit's got to be, hasn't it?
TM.
I'm steaming.
Trademark that.
One bit, I'm steaming. I told you I was a lightweight. Turkey and stuffing baubles that they're like cheese balls, basically. Right. So let's crack them.
I'm a big fan of a crisp. I feel like underrated crisp for me, especially in our house. Co-op's own salt and vinegar crisp.
Oh, so
but they've got like balsamic vinegar and some sort of weird, funky salt. But
I'll let you a secret. I don't really like crisps.
You don't?
No.
You bought crisp
because they were Christmas related. But the reason I don't like them is because they get stuck in my teeth. They get stuck all over my mouth. I hate that feeling of having loads of... Like finishing a bag of crisps and it's like dig your finger into these teeth and, you know.
I feel like they're not very efficient to eat either. Like, I'm at that stage of life now where if I'm on my dinner and I've got like a little bag of crisps or something, I'll scrunch it up, like actually crush it, just pour it in my mouth. Just,
really? That bad?
Yeah, that bad.
That's like, quite efficient. No, I like the efficiency of that.
Because for me, it's like,
I get all the flavours.
Just crush it all up.
All powder straight in.
Right, let's have a go.
Go on then, let's have a look at this turkey and stuffing baubles. What are they like?
I'm into that.
Are they? Nice.
I'm into it.
Are you getting this turkey and stuffing flavour?
I feel like you're not having this on purpose. Oh, yeah. you can do it at the same time.
I just want your verdict.
I like it. What have you done to him?
You sold me open him. There's no contamination here, mate.
We'll see. Well, no, I like them.
Into it? Oh, okay, I'm going to give it a go.
No, I don't know what I'd have with them. What? Nobody's... Oh,
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about them.
You know?
No.
Yeah, I'm into them. Ted'd smash them, to be fair. I'd blink and they'd all be gone. You're not into that, are you?
No, I'm not a massive fan.
Overwhelming stuffing.
Yeah, it's very fragrant, isn't it? Like
a bit the name of my Christmas album, that, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah. Overpowering stuffing. Wash it down with
that joke today.
There, mate. Wash it down with a bit of gingerbread milk. I feel like I'm in Santa's workshop.
They're all right. I could have a few, but I wouldn't choose them.
You have them in a little side bowl.
Yeah.
And
I begrudgingly keep eating them because they were close to me. That's what I do.
Just snack on them while your prawn cocktail's on its way.
Yeah.
Is this what you're doing?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're giving people lots of ideas here. Right, we've got.
I'm going to give them to you because you can say if Ted will like them, you take them to Ted.
Like, honestly, you'd absolutely love them. But unfortunately, though, mate, they might tip over in your car and then it's curtains.
Shall I put them back in the bag?
I'll put them in my bag and then it's my problem.
We can ask for some kind of time, mate. It's not an issue.
It's my problem, mate, if they're spilling my bag.
But, right, should we go to our next one?
Let's do it.
This is probably what I've been looking forward to the most, actually. It's a Bailey's number.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
If anyone that I know listens to this, they're going to be laughing because they know I absolutely love Bailey's.
Yeah.
I'm not like a big drinker, as you know, but I love a Bailey's.
Okay.
I absolutely love a Bailey's at Christmas.
Don't find it like a meal though. It's like a Guinness. If I'm going to have a Guinness,
I get my whiskey glasses.
Yeah.
And I just pour it half full and I just sip it for over the space of like 45 minutes. I just sip it, just nice little sips. So I've always loved the Bailey.
What even is Bailey's?
It's like liqueur, isn't it? Yeah. Like cream liqueur. Irish liqueur, it's known as. If anyone wants the cheapo version, by the way, Ballycastle at Aldi is just as good.
There it is.
Just as good.
There it is.
So anyway, let's show the audience. This is a Bailey's Indulgent Biscuits. Now, I love Bailey's and I love biscuits, so I can't see this going any other way than being absolutely banging. But
I mean, there's time to be disappointed yet, mate.
Yeah, I've been disappointed a few times tonight.
Yeah.
Right, Bailey's Indulgent Biscuits.
That's really...
They come in a fancy packet as well, mate. That's when you know.
There you go. That's how you know they're fresh.
Yeah.
Look at these.
No contamination on these, don't worry.
This is some ASMR stuff here, mate.
It is. Oh, it's just really annoying for people who listen at home.
Right, go on. I'll let you jump in first. You've observed me. Oh, mate, there's loads.
I like them.
There's loads. Look at them.
They're a bit like a BNBN.
Yeah, they are.
Like
actually.
A fancy BNBN.
Yeah. Right,
let's give it a go.
You know, they smell like my Irish nan. My nan from Londonderry or Derry, wherever you're listening from. But,
all right, mate. I'm digging that.
All right, come on, mate. You take them on your side.
You only have one of them, so I'm taking them home, mate.
Not bothered.
Hey, not really.
No.
Not you.
I'll eat it. I'm not bothered.
Oh, he found his breaking point. He's not a dustbin.
Oh, it's a weird feeling.
Is it?
Yeah, I've always felt like this with liqueurs. It feels.
You're not a liqueur man.
I think it reminds me when I was a kid and I tried it. Like just thinking it's some
grandma gives it you going. Have a bit of that.
Yeah, I think it's. I've said it a couple of times, but my nan was from Londonderry, so she was like,
she was Irish. Yeah.
Have a drink of this now.
This is all year round. It's Christmas. This
honestly. Yeah, not for me that.
Really?
No.
I've got another one, mate.
No, not for me.
That is absolutely top tier biscuit. I might have to get another pack of those for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see why they go down well, but I don't know.
It's aftertaste. The chocolate in the mix there is just brilliant. It's the biscuit and the chocolate. I didn't think a Bailey's could get any better. But chocolate and biscuit in the mix is
you have to sponsorships it.
That's a dangerous game, that, mate.
I don't think Bailey's can get any better. Oh, have you dunked it yet?
Have
you dunked it in gingerbread? Are you going to ruin it?
Oh, it's a great idea. Shut up.
You say it's a great idea, mate. I'm not convinced.
Well, I've nearly lost it.
Right, ready?
I tried to dunk it in the gingerbread man, or the gingerbread drink, and nearly lost it. I want to tip it.
I saw something on Instagram the other day. this guy saying, "Is me drowned in my biscuit?" And he puts his biscuit like in the milk until air bubbles stop coming out, which is a bit.
The biscuit?
Yeah, as if he's like drowning it.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit messed up. They pulled it out and it was all right, actually.
That's a serial killer in making that.
I know. I blocked that Instagram page straight away. What's it like wash down, mate? This is very festive, actually.
It's alright,
Yeah.
Do you want another one?
No, I'm good.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that? I don't know.
I'm going to describe it.
I think it's. I don't know. I've got all sorts of tastes going round in my mouth now, mate.
I'm a big fan of them. I honestly think I'll get some more of those at Christmas.
Right. Yeah. You get this lovely box as well, mate.
Yeah.
You get some product placement.
Like I said, Bailey's sponsoring me would not end well. Mate. There's so many calories in Bailey's. Actually, how many calories are in this biscuit? So, to be fair, it's not too bad. Per biscuit, 81 calories.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's pretty good.
What is it for full pack? just for some of my clients listening.
Like, just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12 times 81.
So that's what 800. Actually, nearly looking at 1,000 calories.
I can think of some of my clients who'd budget that for for them. Yeah,
would they?
Yeah, they would.
I'm digging those. Honestly, big fan. But Bailey's the drink though. That's really calorific.
Oh, can you imagine them dunked in Bailey's?
When we had one a couple of weeks ago. I poured a Bailey's for myself. I had some friends round, and actually that was the cheapo version. I'll confess, it was the Ballycastle that I had.
All right.
Poured half a glass, just it was about, I think it was about 250 ml, 400 calories it was.
Really?
In a Bailey's, yeah, 400 calories.
What I'm interested in is how do Aldi get away with this? Well, I probably opened a can of worms.
This is
as in how do they get away with the name changes? I thought they do just enough, don't they?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty bob on. Like I think they do a Professor Pepper instead of Dr Pepper.
Is it? That's what they call it?
It makes me so happy. I just see some like shithouse stuff that Aldi do, and I'm like, you know what to do to avoid this.
All the branding and the package is exactly the same. It's just the name they've changed.
I love it so much. There's
an I can't even remember the name of them, but there's an awesome Instagram page at the moment, and they did like a sketch of like the product guys from Aldi coming up with the names, and if I find it, I'll send it to you.
Please do.
It's brilliant. And I wish I could remember their names to give them a shout out, but probably a few people screaming at the TV now at the podcast now because they are quite popular. They're getting big.
It's honestly one of my favourite things to do, like wordplay. I've mentioned my nan a few times, my Irish nan. But when I used to stay at her house, I used to watch a bit of TV, and then I don't know. I used to like reading, and I read a thesaurus. This is not a joke, by the way. I used to read just to get some extra words in there.
Really? You would read a thesaurus?
I used to fascinate me.
God, you were a geek, mate.
Honestly,
I weren't doing that.
It used to fascinate me. Like I feel like I know about 15 words for the word cold.
It's good though. I think from a young age, it'd be like the amount of times I know a word's boring when I'm writing like an article or a post, and I'll just sit in it. And I'll just go on Google and find some great words, and you do expand your range of words doing that.
I used to love it. I evolved the phrase like shivers ran down my spine during your primary school.
Right.
That was the go-to for everyone, weren't it?
Was it?
I used to try and zazz that up a bit. I think that's why I started reading it actually. It's like instead of shivers, what could I say? Instead of spine, what could I say?
Yeah. You can't doing that. Do you know there's actually what's it called now? There's a piece of software out now that where it scans your whole work. I've got a client who's doing a PhD. Grammarly, that's right. Yeah. And they basically go through your whole document, tells you how you can phrase things better, word things better, like synonyms, things that can maybe be said that you might have said too often. Because we all use the same describing words way too much, don't we?
That sounds like my year 9 English teacher.
Does it really? Yeah.
Just literally.
He was
Thompson. You can do better with that.
Grammarly.
Grammarly. Yeah. So I feel like I wonder if he's behind it.
The personified Grammarly.
Yeah. God, if somebody had told me in year 9, you can get an app that acts like a year 9 English teacher and be like, what is the world?
Yeah.
No thanks, I'm all right.
That'd be brilliant, because you go to them and go, well, this is perfect, so try and prove me wrong.
Yeah, fair.
That's how I've got to go for it. Should we go on to our next one?
What we got?
Right, what we'll do is I'm going to pull out the next crisp.
Ooh.
Because the next crisp is, I think it's a bit of an all-rounder. It's a good one.
What we're talking is this?
It's a Pigs in Blankets hand-cooked crisps.
Ooh, specially selected.
Well, back each one.
Go on, sure.
Go on,
have a look.
I've got a feeling these are going to be good, mate, and we'll probably polish them off.
I feel like we're fully taking liberties now at Peacock at Barlow.
Yeah.
We will buy some food after
The guy's
this.
got binoculars looking over it now.
We will buy some food. There's actually people looking in as well.
Is there?
Yeah. Or they just... Oh, no, they're punters. Yeah, we're not bothered about them.
Right.
What we got?
Pigs in Blankets hand-cooked crisps.
I worry about these because they smell like smoky bacon crisp. That's all I eat. That's all I smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoky bacon crisp then. A nice smoky bacon crisp, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm waiting for that not like semi-burnt aftertaste.
Yeah, it is.
Can we have a pig in blanket?
It's more bacon than it is sausage.
Yeah.
But how do you get sausage into a crisp? It's a hard flavour to get.
That's a dodgy Google search, that mate.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
please don't pull that up.
Delete search history.
Delete podcast. The pigs. Yeah, it's just a bacon crisp, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that aftertaste. They've tried to get sausage in aftertaste.
A little bit,
which I respect.
A little bit.
I respect it.
That's that little dust, the dust you get on top of a crisp.
Yeah,
that's the aftertaste of it, isn't it?
What we're talking per bag, 130 calories. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, for a lovely.
So it's a nice little snack in the day, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm thinking an addition to that. What we're talking, that stuffing mayo that we've got. I'm thinking turkey, crisp on top, bit of added crunch. Oh, you dipping?
What about if you dip?
You're dipping it in there.
Dip the crisp in the onion and sage stuffing mayonnaise. Do you want a bit of try?
We're going to get called out by our clients, mate, big time.
Oh, we're going to be going, what the hell? But I'm worried that we're going to get so slated this episode. What the hell were you two thinking?
I respect that. That's nice, you know. That's what I'm thinking. Sandwich, that mayo, crisp on top, just to give it some crunch.
I'm digging that mayo so badly.
That is nice mayo.
That sage and onion mayo is unbelievable, by the way.
That is good. Oh mate, I really like them.
I might stock up for the year.
Just imagine mine in the summer. Like, do you want some sage and onion mayo on your?
Amy's like, put that bloody sauce away.
Yeah, I can see it now in summer barbecue. Like, anyone want any mustard? Anyone want any sage and onion stuffing? The flavoured mayo. Can see it. Yeah, I like them.
Good, aren't they?
Yeah,
nice.
I respect them. There you go. That's a nice little pick me up for anyone. I'm trying to think when people are going to listen to this. I feel like it might be around Christmas time.
Yeah, there's a bit of time people over Christmas, isn't there? This is the episode you listen to when you go on a walk, when you want to get away from the family.
Yeah.
And you've been with the family for too many days, and you realise that I need to get out of the house. I need to go and have some time by myself. I spend all day every day by myself, working by myself. I need to go and get away from my family for an hour or so. I spent 3 days straight with them pulling my hair out.
People will be starving by the time they listen to this. They'll be like, oh, they've had crisp. They've had.
I'll be honest, when I listen to Jason Manford's episode, the Christmas one, where they review the food, I'm always hungry when I listen to it. Always.
No, I like them crisps that much. I would not scrunch them up and pour them in my mouth.
Would you not? You'd savour them.
I'd savour them.
You can have a few bags of them, mate.
I might leave that as a review.
Would you?
Yeah. I would not crunch these up.
I would not put these in a sandwich. I'd save them.
I would not efficiently eat these. I would savour it. What?
Right, I've got one more.
Oh.
Now this isn't. I guess it is and it isn't like Christmas related. But I've also, before I pull this out, I've got a bit of a confession to make, Brad.
Oh God!
I've been keeping a secret from you. This whole time we've known each other, I've been keeping a secret. I've got to come out clean and just tell you that I'm a bit of a pork pie connoisseur.
Oh,
yeah.
I respect it.
If you could, you know that question you get where it says, if you could have one food on a desert island for the rest of your life, would it? Pork pies, mate.
I feel like you've held this back for a long time because I feel like that were one of our questions that we asked in my Get to Know Me episode. Where it's if you could have one food for the rest of your life, yeah. And I were like, Sunday dinner.
Did I ask you that?
feel like you did, yeah.
Did I? Yeah. I was probably waiting for the question to come back.
Now's your chance, mate.
But yeah, I've always loved pork pies, and around this time of year, you get a lot of seasonal, festive ones. And one of the ones that I absolutely love is, well, there's a couple. You can get your cranberry topped one, but for the life of me, I couldn't find them anywhere. I think I've got in too early with the Christmas stuff, but I did find a pickle topped one.
Ooh.
Pickle topped pork pie.
Very nice.
These are creme de la creme, mate.
Very nice.
And they're like bite size as well. Little M&S numbers, so you know they're going to be half decent.
So you'd actually love Cannonall Farm. I had a cranberry and brie pork pie.
A cranberry and brie.
Cranberry and brie. Wow. Oh, wait, cranberry, chili jam and brie.
That's right. You do a chili jam one. M&S do a chili jam one actually. That's really
unreal,
nice.
Mate. It's really
I like
nice.
them topped. I don't know. I like a normal pork pie for sure. A good quality one, but something topped on a pork pie is just
this is where
sensational.
We obliterate ourselves on the calories here. Like what we're talking from a macro standpoint, mate. Yeah, you've never looked, have you?
I mean, it's the first time I've ever looked at the calories before I've consumed it. I normally wait till after, so there's no hesitation.
I feel like you're a bit like ignorance is bliss. Like pork pie calories don't count.
Per 50 gram pork pie, it's actually not too bad. It's 200 calories, 190 calories, 191.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, is it?
That's not bad.
But some of the big ones, like if you get a normal sized pork pie, it could be like 600 calories.
Have you ever tried them warm?
Have I tried them warm?
Only reason I ask is
I don't think I've actually.
A couple of years ago, we went to Amy's auntie and uncle's. Thank you, man. Went to Amy's auntie and uncle's, and they live, I think it's like High Greenway, which is basically like South Barnsley.
Yeah.
And they said like, well, we're going to have them warm. And they warmed them up and had them with like mash and peas. And gravy.
So that's like a meal.
Yeah. Mate.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Honestly,
Really?
I think it's quite big in North Yorkshire as well. Like that's unbelievable. Which
no, honestly, I can't ever think of a moment when I've had a warm pork pie. I've never made it into a meal. I've always had it cold as like party snacks or a little snack in the day if I've got them in. But I mean, I don't get them in for that reason because they're not amazing quality nutrition. There's a lot of fat and saturated fats and. There's also a lot of carbs and fats together, which I never like massively mixing.
Well, do you know that weird jelly shit that's in it? That you don't really notice it. It like adds to flavour. I feel like the walls of the pork pie sort of absorb it. It's really nice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I should try it
so the jelly melts, does it basically?
Yeah. If you warm it up, obviously make sure it's thoroughly warmed.
If there was a microwave, I'd be warming these up. Right, should we try it?
Should we do it?
Let's go out.
Yes.
Good.
I approve. Something about pickle, isn't there? That's what I meant to ask you. What's piccalilli? Why is it luminous?
It's a random question. I've got no answer for you.
It weirds me out. Love pickle. Love like Branson pickle and stuff, but why is piccalilli luminous?
I don't even know what piccalilli is.
No, have it on like ham sandwiches. Like ham and piccalilli sandwiches.
Is it a type of cheese?
I'm going to have to Google it.
What is piccalilli?
You don't know what piccalilli is?
I do know what it is because when I was getting these from M&S, there was some kind of like cheese that was a piccalilli cheese. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, look, that's it. So you can get it. That's what colour it is.
Luminous.
Looks like toxic waste.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But what does it taste like?
I don't even know what it is.
Pickles. It tastes like pickles.
Yeah. But it's like a really tangy pickle.
What
even is it? Oh right, here we go. Piccalilli or mustard pickle. British interpretation of South Asian pickles. A relish chopped with veg and spices. I've noticed this with like English takes on Indian cuisines, or that I feel like they just dumb it down.
We make it luminous. It's a bit like curry sauce. We get curry sauce on the chicken.
Yeah.
It's just it looks wrong, doesn't it?
I approve of that, man. Don't have to order a starter now from Peacock. Sorry, guys.
Mate, that was absolutely banging. Honestly, have
you inhaled yours? Have you dropped it?
Pretty much. No, I went down in one. But yeah, honestly, those pork pies for me are just top tier. Either the pickle ones, the cranberry ones. I've not really got like a favourite either.
I'm gonna try a bit.
I tried to get the cranberry ones because they're a bit more seasonal, but I couldn't find them.
Mate, that cranberry mayo stinks of yogurt. It like smells like yogurt.
I don't know how you're still eating that. It's like eggy yogurt. Oh, you're not selling it to anyone here, mate. Just stop talking.
Leave it on the shelves.
All the sponsorship's gone long ago.
Leave it on the shelves. I want it.
I might have another Bao Bun actually. The Bao Buns were nice. Yeah, I like that little kind of hoisin vegetable inside.
Right, I'm impressed with them. Yeah, I'm grateful for you bringing them across. Well,
what was your favourite of everything?
Ooh, favourite. I feel like good question. I'm probably with you, mate, with the
Bao Buns.
Yeah, not Bao Buns. Sorry, the mayo.
Oh, the mayo.
Yeah,
the sage mayo. Really?
Yeah, the mayo. Least favourite, begrudgingly, is Bailey's. I feel like I've just lost a few friends there, but
it can be a bit like that. It can be a bit like Marmite, can't it? Bailey's. Some people just genuinely aren't bothered by it. I don't think I was for many years, and I'm not sure what year I ended up getting into it, but I do love a Bailey's, especially this time of year.
It's weirded me out a bit, that. Whilst you're finishing that, mate, I've got a few festive questions for you.
Oh,
all right,
hit me up.
So, you seen Home Alone?
I've seen Home Alone a few times, yeah.
Yeah. Harry or Marv, who would you rather be in that film? Because they both get some pretty horrid.
Oh,
they get some pretty horrid.
I feel like Marv gets it worse. Marv's the one with the long hair, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Marv. Yeah.
And Harry's the one with the bald guy with the hat on.
Yeah. Because Marv gets like iron to the face, and he's. I've asked a few people this, and they've said it's the nail that he stands on. They're like, I could not do that. I could not stand on the nail. But I look at Harry and I'm like...
But Harry has that one where he heats up the doorknob.
Yeah, but his head gets set on fire as well.
That's true.
And I'm like, no.
But you know what, when I look at, even now, I look back on those movies and go, how did they actually do that without hurting the actor? They must have had some kind of like coating or helmet on and then made the helmet look like the head or something. I don't know.
Maybe stuntmen, because I feel like it's a bit before really good effects, isn't it?
You're looking at his face with his head on fire. Must have been something on there, maybe like. But they can put like gel. I think there's like an anti kind of.
What? So you choose Marv?
A retardant gel? Is it something like that? Yeah.
Would you choose Marv then? Would you be Marv in that film? Would you get your head set on fire?
Yeah, I think I would.
A doorknob.
I think I would. God. Yeah. I feel like, and also as well, Harry. He holds something and goes like, he gets electrocuted and he's like body goes into a skeleton for a second.
I could do that, yeah.
Good.
I've been electrocuted a few times. It's quite weird.
There's a light up there, mate, if you want to give it a go.
Yeah, I'm known in my family for sticking forks in plug sockets.
Oh yeah?
No, not really.
Any more questions for me?
Have you got any lookalikes?
Do you know what?
Go on.
It's funny. It's a recent one actually. One of the lads messaged me on. Well, they put it in the WhatsApp group from back home, and it was just a picture of Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, Man City centre half.
Yeah, I mean, when my hair was a bit longer.
Yeah,
before I chopped it off.
I can see that.
There was a bit of a Ruben Diaz shout.
I can see that.
Yeah. So that's probably the one I'd go for.
Fair.
What about you?
I had Russell Howard.
Yeah.
Now that I'm wearing glasses, it's pissed me off a bit.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can.
It's Russell Howard with straight eyes.
I never noticed that though. I mean, I'm not very good at spotting like,
little quirks that people
yeah. So people notice it or mention it even. I can see Russell Howard.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Just not very human though. Just a dad joke.
Not yet. We're working on it.
It's coming.
Are there any podcasts that you don't miss? You mentioned like Jason Manford's one. I think because do you class yourself as a podcaster now?
No, I wouldn't class myself as a podcaster. We just make a podcast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't know. Is there any podcast that you flash up and you think right that automatically downloads or like?
Yeah. There's one that I've not missed for years.
Go on.
It's called. It's gonna sound so random. This I don't think I've ever told anyone that I listen to this. It's called Darknet Diaries.
Yeah.
Darknet Diaries. So you know what the Darknet is?
Yeah.
Well, Darknet Diaries was a podcast set up by a guy who like wanted to interview people who'd done crazy things online, whether it's like a lot of it is like heists of certain things, whether it's like crypto heists or people breaking into like big large companies. They have a lot of what's called pen testers, which are like penetration testers, where they try and break into banks. And so a bank might go to a pen tester and say, try and break into our system, and we'll pay you to do it. And if they find weaknesses, they report them, and then the bank fixes them, basically. And it was actually put on to me by Dan. Dan told me a couple of years ago about this, and ever since then I've been listening. I even went back and like listened to every single one prior to it. I find it fascinating. There was one the most fascinating one that was on there, it was an unbelievable episode about, so you know there was all this like jihadist movement, and there was a lot of things online, and they were communicating in certain like dark net spaces, the jihadists, to kind of try and plan like terrorist attacks basically. And there was a woman from like, oh God, I can't remember where she was from, like let's say Kansas in America, and she was just for whatever reason a normal mum, had a normal job, and she just had this urge to like try and help and try and do something, but she didn't want to go to war. So she was like, how can I start looking into this and preventing this and doing something about it? So she was looking online, and then she found these dark areas of the web where they were chatting, and then she made fake accounts and went and started chatting to like these jihadists. She learned their language.
Whoa.
She learned how to speak their language, and then actually started chatting to them in their language.
Jeez.
I think that all started from them, her doing like Google Translate and stuff. But she picked up on their quirks and the way they were saying things.
Wow.
And so she had to be believable, because they were obviously on the lookout for people who were, you know, infiltrators, basically. So she was like stopping people being recruited. She actually, I can't remember what it was, but there was a big plot in America that she ended up stopping. She got like a Medal of Honor essentially from the government to say like, you've done so much good work. And she stopped thousands and thousands of like people interacted, and she stopped some big plots. And it was probably maybe 6 months ago now this episode came out, so it's been a while. But it was one where I just finished the episode and went, God, I could listen to like another 3 hours of that. It was just so captivating. The saddest story, which is a bit of a spoiler alert actually, she dies in the end.
Wow.
I think she dies of cancer. So she gets some kind of cancer, it goes away, comes back, and she ends up dying from it. But she just did an amazing thing, like took it on herself. And the fascinating thing I think at one point is she actually got exposed. So they found out who she was.
Whoa. And
it was plastered all over, and people like said death threats to her house, her family were involved now. And she just kind of, I can't remember how they dealt with that as the government. I think she might have gone into witness protection for a little bit. But I think she was also of the kind of mindset of like, I don't want to hide. I want to, you know, if I'm out there, I'm out there now. Do you know what I mean? And she'd already done a lot of good by that point, to be fair. It's a phenomenal podcast, really, really good. And it just goes over so many different types of stories like that. So every time that pops, and it only comes out once a month. I think it used to be once a week, and the guy ended up getting like, you know, some kind of, you know, mental health issue because it was so intense and speaking to so many people. And obviously we know how difficult it is to kind of get a podcast out every week. His are much more in depth as well, like than ours. Like much, you know, we put a lot of research and things into ours, but he's got people going over like a lifetime's worth of history on a very specific topic, and he has to kind of whittle it all down, and he narrates it as well and tells a really good story along the way. So if you get a chance to listen to that one, like Darknet Diaries is something that I would just highly recommend for sure.
Wow. And we all want to know, mate, what's the weirdest thing you've ever bought on Darknet?
I've never been on the Darknet. Like I don't.
Right answer. Yeah, that's the right answer.
I wouldn't even know how to get the Darknet. I mean, I've listened to this podcast by guys who, you know, are on there all the time and know it like the back of the hand, and they go to like DEF CON, which is like a, you know what DEF CON is? It's like a basically a kind of festival thing in America where all the hackers get together and actually do like active hacks, but in like obviously a safe way.
Like a hacker party.
A hackers party. Hackers convention is.
What a weird world we live in.
Yeah, but when I started listening to this, I was like, oh God, this is so cool, because it's a whole other fraction of society and people and the internet that I didn't even know existed. And that's what I love about podcasts. It just puts you onto some random stuff like that.
It's the long form stuff, isn't it? Like you seem to get more information out there, you get to connect with people a little bit better, and it's got context. Yeah, it's got context, and when you go that deep into like journalistic stuff, unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Again,
Darknet Diaries. What's your podcast? Would you say that when it comes up, you see it and go, I've got to listen to this?
I've had a few over the years, but at the minute it's Guardian Football Weekly, which probably says more about my like liberal views, listen to the Guardian and that sort of stuff. But I just like how they cover it. They're very, very clever journalists that are on there. They're not like those horrible smutty journalists. Like they're very in depth and caring. they've shined a light on, I suppose, a sport that I love, and they go into a lot of detail. It's essentially where I absorb a lot of my football information. I love football, and it's a nice way to reflect on it and see different takes on it. So there's some controversial stuff on there, like the way that they cover. I don't know if you've seen the Ipswich and Crystal Palace game with the controversy with the captain's armbands.
No, what was that?
Ipswich's captain didn't wear a rainbow armband because of his religious beliefs. And
wow. Who is Ipswich? Because Ipswich are in the Premier League now, aren't they? Who was the Ipswich captain? I can't remember his name.
Sam Morsey. His name is Sam Morsey, but he's an Egyptian international. So because of his religious beliefs, he were like, I don't want to wear the armband.
Right.
Now, the Palace captain graffitied I love Jesus on the armband, which is against Premier League rules. You're not supposed to do that. So this game, all of a sudden, which apparently were a pretty crap game, but because of the armband situation, it sort of blew up.
Became political.
Yeah, it got really political, and the crux of it is ultimately, I suppose, and this is why I like listening to the Guardian stuff rather than like, this is disgusting, Sam Morsey should do it, or you shouldn't write on this armband. Instead, they go into, well, what's the root cause of this? Like, they've probably just rocked up to the changing room one day and they go, there's your armband, you've got to wear that. Like, that's a structural issue.
To write on the armband, though, is that's a bit of like, I don't know. It's difficult in sport, though, because especially in a game like football, you're looking for a psychological edge. And if for whatever reason you can piss someone else off on the other team by doing a little bit of shit out of it on your armand.
It felt like a retaliation. Which, you know...
So what happened with the Ipswich guy? He
refused to wear it.
So was someone else captain?
No. He wore just a plain armband.
Really? Did he? Okay.
Which that would have been my solution. It'd have been, listen, I'm not too comfortable wearing this. Can you give it vice captain? Or just something similar. I don't know. But, you know, Sam Morsey could be a brilliant guy, and he gets you to think about things a bit different. Like, you don't know Sam's family. You don't know if his family are very, very politically charged. You don't know if that would have put his family in danger.
Yeah.
So it gets you thinking a different way, and all that from football podcast.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm with you. Like, I'm very inclusive with my thoughts. I think, anyone should be who they want to be. But I do think certain things within sport and trying to make it more inclusive, should I say?
Yeah.
They put a bit of pressure on players, and they challenge players' beliefs, and they challenge, like, I always think about the whole thing with COVID and Novak Djokovic, how, I think fair play to him for sticking to his guns and being like, and fair play to Sam Morsey, is it?
Yeah.
Who says, it's not what I believe and I'm just not going to do it. I think there's a lot of hate that could get thrown their way, and obviously I'm sure there was a lot of hate thrown their way. But also, if we're going to respect other people and try and make it more inclusive, part of that is respecting the people who don't want to respect it. Do you know what I mean? That's part of the inclusivity, right?
Yeah.
So it's a full circle thing. If we're going to let people anyone into the game and anyone support the game and do all those kind of things, let's make let's make it the same on the other end.
I think that the one thing that podcast has probably taught me is what's not said is equally as powerful. And I think when there's a conversation to be had, like, go and have a chat with some LGBTQ plus, representatives, and go and have a chat with them. Yeah. It's not necessarily you need to be educated. It's more just go and have a chat. Let's talk about each other's beliefs. Not one person's right or wrong, but there's a lot to be learned. And I can't believe that comes from a football podcast, but stuff like that really gets me thinking.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I think we are the podcast, and we have a certain kind of things we talk about with certain people, and we don't really talk about our own politics and political views in that sense. But I think me and you are pretty on the same wave, and we've never really personally even discussed like our own beliefs around that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty much of the opinion where, as long as it's hurting no one, like, be who you want to be. Like, we could go down a real rabbit hole of the intricacies of that, but that on the surface level of it is definitely what I think.
And the way that I see it, Ted and Barlow are coming into this world, and we almost need to. Yeah, we need to prepare them.
I think it's a minefield now, even compared to our parents' generation, with what's going on and where it's heading, which is good pros and cons to that. But I do wonder where it'll be like in 20 years' time when Barlow is 23 and what's going on there. But I think every generation's had their political challenges, and I think that's like the miners' strikes and things like that.
You only have to look at, I suppose, the role of a dad now compared to like the 1950s. It's worlds apart, mate.
I think that the role of everything is evolving. Like the role of every single job and career and responsibility as a parent, as a dad, as a brother, sister. I think it's all changing. I even think about like personal training. Like when I got into the business, I was having this thought today, right? When I got into personal training, one thing that I never thought I'd have to navigate was business coaches who were talking, some are talking shit and some are not talking shit. And how do you differentiate between the ones that are actually talking a lot of sense and the ones that are not? I remember having that thought the other day, like, because there's a lot of guys out there with good information about how to push, you know, an online coaching business or a personal training business forwards. But I never thought I'd be in a position where I'd have to navigate those people. That always kind of, again, and same with being a dad and same with like, you know, politics and things like that. It's going to be a minefield. And
this might come across as a bit of throwaway advice for parents and that sort of stuff, and I appreciate how deep I'm going with this, but there's a lot to be said about just getting in your perspective helicopter and just zooming out and sort of seeing things from a big picture view and sort of saying, well, actually, what matters? You know, what does matter? And ultimately, you know, the education of your kids matters, the happiness of your kids matters, what you do on a day-to-day basis, your own happiness, that matters. And I struggle to find anyone who sort of disagrees with that. So I think it's important to see what we agree on rather than disagree on. And I've never been to any debating club or anything like that, but I've always been intrigued in that sort of stuff.
I think you're like me. You're a bridge builder, not a bridge burner. And I think if it means, you know, changing your views slightly, and I think if it means letting bygones be bygones with certain things, I think it's always needed that. But
should we bring it back festive?
Yeah, let's go. We're very political there, we've always said. But have you got any more questions you want to ask?
Just the two, mate. I've heard you singing on the way in here.
Singing?
In terms of a bit of maybe favourite Christmas song.
Was I singing?
Yeah, of course. Okay. It's a little Spanish number. You were.
It was. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not asking for a rendition now. I'm just.
If you're not getting one, mate. I think it was. Do you want the top up, by the way?
No, I'm good, mate.
I think it was on the bar. I think I heard it at the bar. As I come in, it was in my head.
Fair.
So you're not going to put a karaoke mic?
No, I'm not, mate. Not today, anyway. No, I'll be honest, mate. I love Elton John. Step Into Christmas reminds me of Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah.
Mind if I step in?
Bit of Gavin and Stacey this time.
Mind if I step in?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Film, mate. Favourite Christmas.
Got him. Favourite Christmas film, mate.
Got to be Die Hard, hasn't it? Sure.
We know where Ryan's stance is on that now. Here we go.
I'll be honest, mate. I'm not much of a Christmas movie. I like the kind of this bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Socialising with friends, family, but I'm not huge on Christmas itself. I'll be honest with you. As he rocks up with like every festive food under the sun, but I never have been really. I like the biggest thing about Christmas that I love is just people coming together and like families and friends you haven't seen for ages and everyone just letting their hair down a little bit. I've always loved that side of Christmas, but I've never been big on like Christmas movies and my missus loves it. Like as soon as it turns December 1st, like Netflix is on, old Christmas movies getting played.
She's Buddy the Elf. She's there. She's there.
Exactly. She's just like she's the generator of Christmas, and it's nice to a certain degree. It does create a nice vibe around the house, but give me Die Hard over The Grinch any day.
Love that.
What about you?
I feel like I've got two for different reasons. One's a bit more recent. It was like the first Christmas film that me, Amy and Ted ever sort of watched together, called The Christmas Chronicles. Kurt Russell is possibly the coolest Santa I've ever seen. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I have seen this. I can see him in a Santa's hat.
Yeah, he's class, mate. He's so good.
Christmas Chronicles.
That's who I hope Santa is. I hope Santa's actually Kurt Russell. Because it does, makes me really
What's
happy.
the original one where... what's it called now? There was one movie as a kid that I did used to enjoy watching, and it was the one where it was... I can't remember the name of that. Who's the actor?
I feel like I'll know this. I'm a little bit weird with like films and actors and stuff. I can remember stories.
But it was like a real life one, and like the dad turns into the Santa. What's the one movie?
I don't know this. I think it's called The Santa Claus, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the Santa Claus. Yeah. Where the dad becomes like Santa Claus and he grows a beard, he gets a pot belly, he's coming into work.
And everyone's thinking he's mental.
Yeah, everyone's thinking he's nuts. That was one movie where I just loved, even as a kid, I loved the concept that like someone's dad just does this sort of turn into Santa. But yeah, I thought that's one of the one movies that if it's on again, I don't mind watching that. That probably comes second to Die Hard.
I'm gonna show my melty side now. I love The Holiday.
The Holiday. No, that's a proper
Cameron Diaz.
chick flick. That
Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, who's insane in that, is really good. Jack Black's a legend. I think that's when I fell in love with Jack Black.
That's the one where they do like a house swap.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's amazing.
I've seen that.
Jude Law did ruin it for me actually, because I heard him on a radio interview and he said, "Right, I'm gonna break down the curtain now." He says that house doesn't exist.
Which house
from The Holiday?
What, the one in America or
like
UK?
In the one in UK, it doesn't exist.
Oh really?
No. It says they built it. It's a prop.
Did they?
Yeah, it's a prop.
No.
All the indoor scenes are filmed in LA.
Whoa.
Ruined my.
So what about the outdoor house then? Is that just
made it up? Yeah. Just I think they built it. They built the front. They rendered it.
That's unbelievable.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. This is quite a nice little cottage there, isn't it? I think I did watch that last year actually, and it has stayed in my mind because I remember Jude Law looking really young in it, like dashing young chap actually, isn't it?
Yeah, he's class. I really like Jude Law. He's top actor.
And Cameron Diaz again, just can't. Favourite Cameron Diaz movie's got to be There's Something About Mary.
Why is that right?
Well, you've seen it.
We've seen it. No, I know what you mean. But no, mate, that concludes my Christmassy questions for Ryan Dutton. Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like I've let the side down now. I haven't got any questions. But one thing I did want to maybe ask you is, have you got any funny client stories? Like, obviously, we've been coaches for a while now. Anything that, obviously, we're not here to like stitch clients up and embarrass anyone, but anything that you just think is a funny story from a session or funny things that have happened with clients.
There's the occasional fart that gets let slip, and we just ignore it. We're just like, yeah, it is what it is.
But in your job, like, you're in the gym environment.
No.
So do people around you hear it or like?
I think it's more. I meant clients, not me.
I'm sorry about that. I'd be very worried. I'd be very worried if you were dropping bombs.
Sorry about that. No, I think it's more, I don't know, embarrassing ones are a tough one because anyone who knows me knows that I try and be quite professional with stuff. It's the occasional like innuendo that gets dropped out. What do we say? I've got a client who we were talking about, of all things, like IVF, which is quite a serious topic.
For sure.
And she had a slip of the tongue, and instead of, how did she word it? But basically she said something, right, I will remember this word because I've started the story with like half a story gone. And it's just little like slips of the tongue when people say things and you just can't help but giggle.
Was it instead of saying IVF, she said something else?
No, she's that's it, debunk. So instead of saying debunk, like, I think it's a myth that needs debunking about IVF, she said despunking.
Oh, wow.
And, in context. Oh my God. Do you know when you just think, I've lost my head? Like, I've absolutely lost my head. Because it was unintentional. She said it and like I'm absolutely howling because she's not even know she's done it.
Topic of conversation, you could have thrown it in anywhere.
Honestly, she was just like, I just think it's a myth that he's despunking, and then carried on training. And I'm like, I can't leave it like that. What are you doing?
Did you pull her up on it?
I did, yeah.
So
I think I had to because I was laughing.
Yeah. But my first comment would have been, "Well, you've got some money, man."
Honestly, just is what it is. But no, mate, what about you? Any funny client stories that...
Yeah, there's one. I've got one written down here that I wanted to tell because it is funny. They don't mind me sharing it because one of the lads has come back to me now. So a few years ago, maybe like, I think it was about 3 years ago now, I was coaching. Probably about 4 years ago. For 2 years, I was coaching a dad and a son. And they came to sessions, and in the first year they were here, phenomenal, like really changed themselves around, got some fantastic results. And both in a great spot. And then maybe about a year in, things started to just maintain a little bit. I could see a little bit of doubt coming in their minds around old habits creeping back in and being able to control them, and they just started slipping a little bit. So for maybe the next kind of 6 months or so, old habits crept back in. Didn't regain massive amounts of weight because they were so active at this point, and we built them up. But they were having takeaways and pizzas and things like that, and they were actively telling me, and these guys, they had a great relationship with dad and son, and they didn't mind telling me these things, and they were just very honest, and I do appreciate that as a coach as well. But anyway, they got so honest with it. They were like, "Ryan, I'm not gonna lie, like for the past month, after every single one of our sessions, we've gone and picked a pizza up on the way home."
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, that's a bold thing to say. But they were like, but to be honest with you, we're not bothered because we've got to a certain point. We can manage it now. We love training with you. and we think the sessions are great, and we want to change it, and we still want to keep being honest with you about what's happening with our food. I was like, oh, cool, I get it.
Yeah, fair.
And then it got to the point where they were so honest, and they were like, Ryan, we're about 10 minutes from the end of the session, can we just order our pizza?
Amazing.
So it got to the point where 10 minutes before the end of the session, one of them would be on delivery, ordering their takeaway.
Wow.
This, as a coach, this is harrowing, absolutely harrowing to admit, but they were good lads and they were top laugh, and I enjoyed training them, they enjoyed the sessions, they were very upfront about what they were doing. They'd kind of, at this point, given up that we're ever going to give up takeaways or only limit them to a certain point, that we're going to have them when we want. We train really hard, we do all you kind of walking, we eat nice the rest of the time. But that was always a story that makes me chuckle. And actually, the son Tom has actually come back again now for some more training. So I did mention to him, do you mind me telling that story? He's like, no, mate, it's funny even looking back on it. He wouldn't dream of doing that now, because he's a bit older, but at the time it was funny.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That's like, what a surreal position to be in as a coach.
Yeah, very strange.
You order that greasy pizza.
Yeah, it was just strange thinking like you're just going to go on and do all this this hard work, but funny one.
I've literally just remembered the most random story as well.
Go on,
I've told a few tales in the past about like my time at Firehouse when we were in like the small unit, and I'll shout them out actually. Amy and Gemma, I trained them as a pair, both mates of mine, and I said, right, I'm just going to do some open and shutter doors up. I went, I just want you to do lunges, car park and back. I said, started lunging, they come sprinting back in. I said, what's up? They said, there's a horse. I'm like, what are you talking? No, there's not. There's a freaking Shetland pony, like in the middle of the car park.
Wow.
But like they got halfway up, realised there's a Shetland pony and comes sprinting back in.
Oh God, just loose?
Just a loose Shetland pony. So I can see this like rope around its neck. And there's it's chewed itself off this rope basically. Right. Turns out there are a traveller site up the road. So this Shetland pony's chewed itself out. I've got on the phone, like, I can't remember who I called. I don't think I called police. I don't know who I called. Just to be like, there's a Shetland pony in my car park. I'm trying to train my clients here, what am I doing? And the next minute, this guy rocks up in a van. Not like a transit van, like a smaller, almost like a hatchback, but like a saloon hatchback, but it all boarded out back. And he said, this is where I butcher an accent, and he says, grabbed a rope. And I went, excuse me? He went, grabbed a rope.
It's a great Irish accent.
I went, I am not grabbing that rope, mate. You go and grab the rope. He's like, look, if he sees me coming, he'll be scared and he'll run off. And I'm like, probably shouldn't have this horse back, mate, if that's what he's going to do. So I'm trying to defend the Shetland pony.
Jesus.
He just comes and grabs
So you
the rope.
negotiate between client, Shetland pony, and Irish traveller.
The most surreal thing I've ever seen. And this traveller just grabbed this Shetland pony and rammed it in the van. Weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Easily. I love that. There are certain moments. It's more like when things go outdoors that I think things get a little bit weird and wonderful. Because in the gym environment, it's very enclosed. Not a lot can go wrong. And it's actually just brought another story to my mind. So when I first started the business, I was living in a flat at the time, and I didn't want to work in a gym. I refused to kind of go and pay gym money to a local gym. I thought I could do it by myself, and I had a turning circle outside the back of this flat I was living in. So I used to train people with these little, those little plastic weights filled with sand. I used to put those on dumbbells, take them outside, and it was it was kind of between a relatively nice estate and a relatively crap estate. This turning circle, it kind of was the middle ground, and I used to see all sorts on this turning circle. So it was my place of work basically. This turning circle. It was disused, but you used to get cars. You used to get lads pulling up, and like I'd go out onto there. So I'd get my client, they'd pull up at my flat, we'd walk around the back of the flats to this turning circle, and immediately, as soon as I opened the door out of the flat, you could just smell weed everywhere, and there'd be lads that like parked up in a car, and it would just enter the whole session was this massive smell of weed. There was another day where I come out one time, and I'd seen this car parked up on the side a few times, and couldn't really work out what was going on. I knew people were sat in there, but I couldn't work out what was going on. Anyway, one time I've gone over and I'm just like, I don't think they've seen me there, and then I've gone laying some cones around the turning circle, and I've just gone past the car and kind of like glanced in to see what's going on. And let's say there was a man and a woman in there doing things that they shouldn't have been doing.
Playing Connect
4. Yeah, playing something, mate. She was playing with something anyway. And that was very awkward. I remember having to like navigate the circuit so that my client didn't go over that side of the car, that the turning circle. So I was like, right, how am I going to navigate her not seeing that woman giving that bloke a hand job?
Say it bluntly, mate. Yeah. Say your feel.
So that was interesting. And then the worst thing that ever happened on that.
It gets worse than that.
Oh, it gets worse, mate.
Right,
it gets worse. Was so cars will come down sometimes and like it'd be stupid because I had all these cones set up, right? And the cars would just stupidly just literally drive over the cones, and I'd be like stood there like this, what's going on? And they'd drive over the cones and they'd go out. And then one bloke come down and he was just a bit annoyed that he couldn't turn his car around. And he just come down and he's like, what the bloody hell are you doing here? He's effing and jeffing at me. And I say, I'm just doing a PT session, mate, mate, it's going to be occupied for the next hour or so. And he goes, who do you think you are doing this? Or I don't know, he seemed to be off his head. It could have been in all sorts. Anyway, he just starts like revving his engine a little bit at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to back off here a little bit, Anyway, he's put his foot down, come racing up to me, and broke right in front of me. I've had to like jump out the way a little bit. I'm like, bloody hell. And then he's like almost like chased me around the car park a little bit, mounted the curb. And I've just been, and my client, it was a brand new client. She overweight, quite self-conscious. Came to me because she thought it was a little bit away from the gym. Now she's watching her coach being chased around the car park by a lunatic and he's like, banged up motor. And I just remember thinking like, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? It's one of those moments in the business where you're like, is this worth pursuing? Because this is just ridiculous now. Like, what is actually going on? I'm getting chased around the car park in my own session by a lunatic. And funny, but when you look back on it, actually like really dangerous as well.
Be honest, if it were a Fiat 500, would you just flipped it?
It weren't far off a Fiat 500. We were a little banged up thing, but
did you not fancy it? Just getting all outside and just
as soon as he puts his foot down, mate, I'm brown bread, aren't I?
But just creep up and
he was just a nutter, absolutely nutter. Yeah, it was just weird. But apart from that, that's probably the craziest story. I've got a few other things here. Like, there's been the typical thing where I've been like in some sticky situations in sessions. There was one time when have you seen that exercise where it's like a leg raise? So you lie on your back.
Yep.
Legs are straight, coming up and down. Now, what you can do is to make it a bit tougher for the client is
to throw their legs down a bit.
Yeah. So you can stand either side of their head while on the floor, and as they bring their legs up, you're there to kind of grab their legs and push them back down. Now, I was coaching this girl who wasn't very tall. And it just so happened that as she brought her legs back in, they were the perfect height to come and meet me in my testicles. And needless to say, once they hit my testicles, I dropped to the floor like you wouldn't believe, squealing. Because it got just get in the right spot, and you just know straight away this is gonna hurt me for the next 20 minutes. This is gonna be one of those ball incidents that is gonna hurt me for the next 20 minutes. I'm in for a ride here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was one of those. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, the other one was like, so I've had this happen a few times actually, where I've been helping clients get into like a pull-up using the resistance band.
Yep.
And it's always when they're coming out of it, like they come out too quick and I'm there to try and help them out, and they just let the foot off and it just slapped me in the face. And I've just been completely abused by the resistance band.
Yeah.
Therefore the funny ones where I've been like, harmed in sessions.
The more like suspect one that I've had when I used to work for Babcock, when I was assessing, I was traveling the country, but I just missed PTing. So I basically went PT on the road, similar to what Pete does. I used to have a little like thing out of the back that I used to just pull some weights out. I used to go around to my mate's house, Kate. Kate's wicked. Her and her husband Anne are just absolute legends. And we were trying to do some face pulls because I'm like, right, Kate, we need to get some face pulls. Nothing to anchor the band around. I'm like, it's fine. Like, use me. Anchor it around me. So this already looks a bit suspect.
Right.
So literally, we're doing it like in her front room, living room windows there. Mm-hmm. I've got a band around me.
Yeah.
She's doing kneeling face pulls, mate. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She's doing kneeling face pulls. All right. And her husband comes home and he's just like, what is happening? What's happening here?
Well,
I suspect that looks like. What are you doing? Just like you completely, honestly, oblivious.
Thought of it.
Literally not thought about it.
Well,
and but we had a good laugh about it. But it's still that weird thing where you go, Okay, I probably need to think about what I'm doing in future.
Yeah. The positions people are coming into. Yeah. It's normally when you're assisting someone that it can get a bit like that, but
yeah.
I mean, God, we've all seen coaches abusing the power there, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing, even from like day one, when I knew other coaches that were a little bit like that, I was always like, I never want that kind of lack of credibility in the industry where you're just being associated with like being seedy. Like, I couldn't ever imagine being a seedy coach. Like, it's also not only a mark on your reputation as a person, but it's a mark on your business, and like the chances are you're not going to get any more business off the back of it. And you've just got to be a bit of a bellend basically to do that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
How hard is it to build a reputation? But it's so easy to break it down.
Oh, so easy. Yeah,
so easy.
Just one stupid thing, and but yeah, I've got to be careful, very careful. Like, how you present yourself and what you do in business, and let's leave it to the people that just downright in the head. Do you know what I mean?
I always say
no more banded face pulls off.
No more banded face pulls off of me as an anchor. I think as an anchor point, I didn't say wanker point, which was a joke that got banded around. But
the wanker point.
The wanker point. But yeah, that was a joke that was banded around. But now it puts you in a weird situation sometimes as a coach. And I don't know if ever you've had any situations where, I don't know, maybe you start training a woman, maybe the other half's a bit insecure, or the way around. I don't know. I feel like that's...
I've never had that. I feel like you maybe have you had some experience with that?
Suspect, if you know what I mean. Like, they stop coaching and you sort of go, oh, okay. But
really?
I've always been really conscious about what I do for work and my name. Because if you hear there's a PT called Brad, instantly you paint a picture, dickhead. All right.
Was that because you did? Or
John Bishop actually did a sketch on this. He did. He did a stand up, and he said he's like, yeah. So my PT comes round, Brad. You can picture him, can't you? And literally, as he's saying it, I'm like melted into my chair. And I'm like, oh no. I think it's John Bishop that I've got to blame actually.
I only know you, and you're probably one of the only Brads that I know. Really, I don't really know any Brads, but I know you're not like that in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, it's funny how you associate like personality types with names as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was something going around on TikTok recently about they were asking like just a random bloke on the street asking girls like, what name is a red flag? And it was Tom. Like,
Tom.
Every single girl was Tom. I was like, really, Tom?
Yeah, why's Tom?
I thought all the Toms I know are quite nice. Well, one's a little bit.
It's common name, isn't it?
It is a common name. Yeah,
it's a common name.
True. But for all those girls to say the same name, he just obviously had a bit of a thing with the Brads, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But as soon as John Bishop did it, I'm like, oh, for God's sake! I'm like, great.
Don't be sharing that sketch around the web.
No,
I'm gonna find that and post it.
No, don't. It haunts me to this day.
Any other funny stories from your PT sessions?
Not that pop up. I feel like I've shared my deepest, darkest ones.
Same. Do you want to wrap up the 50th episode there? I feel like I'm not sure how long we've been going at this now. I feel like we're in a time warp here.
I'm hoping we've kept people company on their like weird Twilight Zone time between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, it'd be a great time to listen to this, and we might try and promote it around then, because I think it's going to come out not this week, next week, isn't it? This one, which is kind of just before Christmas. So
it'll be out there.
Yeah, look, if you guys have got, what do we ask for suggestions on guests? Love to know like what you guys would love to, whether it's, I don't know, be with some practical suggestions and maybe some like weird, wonderful, wild suggestions as well. I'd love to know all those of people we can pursue, because we're always in the hunt for guests, and we've reached out to some people that I thought would say no. Like, I didn't think Kate Cross would ever agree to it. She did. I didn't think Nor would sit down with us. Nor actually said to me, I don't ever appear on anyone else's podcast.
Did she?
But I'll do yours, right? So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
So it just shows, like, if you reach out to people, you'd be surprised who's willing to sit down for a good conversation. Podcasts they're getting out there now. People understand them, they know what they are. So if you've got any suggestions, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for us, it's more just finding a way to reach more people, because I think as message, I've spoke about this a lot, it's quite unique in a way in terms of talking to parents about being fit and healthy, because we'll have a laugh, we'll have a joke, but ultimately we want to share stories of people who do it really well, people who the everyday person can learn from. Because it's all right having unlimited resources and being a celebrity and stuff. That's great, but I don't know. I like everyday people, like the real people.
Yeah,
I just think
they're relatable for sure.
Yeah, I just think of like Dan, who you've had on, and Shaw, and just people
if
who
are listening to this and you've got a great story behind you. Like, you've had some ups, some downs. You've come out the other end. You've made things work from a parenting point of view, from a fitness point of view. You've spun a lot of plates. we'd love to hear from you. Like we'd love to have again real people on as well. So I think it's really. I'm happy you mentioned that, because it's something that I want to push as well. Those real stories.
I think it's been nice giving other coaches a platform as well, because I think it's quite a risky thing to do. A couple of people said to me, they were like, "Why are you like promoting their business?" And I'm like, "Because it's a good message. Why would we not do that?" Like,
but we wouldn't just get someone to promote their own business straight off the bat and say, "I'm the best. This is my program." There's usually a really good backstory to it. Like Bronte, for example, she's got a great backstory, amazing ethos around training, and an awesome message for like parents and kids. She just so happens to be in the online coaching space, and we're more than happy for her to talk about that on our platform as well.
Yeah. Oh, Joe Patterson, Pete Swatkins, like those two, they've got such a passion for what they do, and countless others. Like we've had so many people on who just we want to be able to give them a chance to talk and explain their information quicker than that, like, a bit longer form rather than these 30-second minute reels that they'll get you so far. But I don't know.
Joe Rogan calls it a famine mentality.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to adopt that. I think when you promote other people and you get them into your circle, it's reciprocated, and your profile and who you are and your respect goes up because you are getting other people on. And I just want that kind of really good energy and aura around the podcast and what we're trying to do. I don't want it to be like exclusive. I don't want it to be like when you go into a gym sometimes and it's quite an exclusive gym with set personal trainers, and they know who you are and they know you're a personal trainer. I've had it before. I've walked into gyms, they know who I am, and they're looking like, oh, I know a personal trainer's here. We've got competition, guys. I don't ever want our podcast to be like that. I want it to be something that's like open to anyone. Anyone's got a good story, got a good message. No matter your background, no matter what you do as a business, we want to talk to you. You
coined it pretty early on, mate, which is we want parents to be the kids' hero, and we can't do that without sharing the good, the bad, the ugly. Like we've had some awful situations happen with Ted, and we've had some great situations happen with Ted, and it teaches you how to grow as a person. And if we can share that and we can stay fit, active, healthy, and around all that, then amazing.
For sure. Right, here's to 50 episodes with our gingerbread milkshake that you've already finished.
Cheers for that.
And here's to the next 100, mate.
Here we go, mate.
Or the next 50 to 100.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for joining us on the Fit Dads podcast. We will see you on episode 51.
See you soon. Awesome, mate.
Brilliant.
Enjoy
that. Yeah, really good.